Freezing rain is on us today. January the 6th, 2026. Freezing rain.
Maybe they take a different approach. We talk. It is not an easy job. They talk. Now, I always say it's faster, quicker, easier. So you know to get things moving forward a little quicker. We are NewsTalk 1010. Don't miss a new season of the Emmy-winning reality hit critics call Delightfully Chaos. The stakes are high. Trust is low. The Traitors. Streams January 8th on Crave. Subscribe at crave.ca.
Dream agents, this Tuesday's Lotto Max jackpot is an estimated $50 million, plus an estimated $2 max million. Let's get those callers dreaming to the max.
Lotto Max Dream Hotline. You want to buy a pool? Why not a private lake? Kitchen upgrade? What about your own restaurant? In Spain.
And we've got another dreamer.
Tuesday's Lotto Max jackpot is an estimated $50 million, plus an estimated $2 max million. Why dream to the min when you can dream to the max? Stella, happy 2026.
Thanks, Callum. I love this time of year.
New beginning.
Yes. And Spend Paying the DST is helping couples buy their engagement rings.
A little budget help.
Callum, it's like we're Cupid's Little Helpers.
And I'm the CEO?
Cupid's Little Helpers aren't that corporate.
Okay.
Buy your engagement ring at Spence before Valentine's Day and save the 5% GST.
Ben.
Across from Scarborough Town Center near Square One in Mississauga and by Colossus Theater in Vaughan. Transat presents a couple planning their winter vacation.
Okay, I'm thinking winter camping.
What?
Hear me out. We pitch a tent, we build a fire, we get cozy, and we can survive -30.
I just booked this an all-inclusive at a beachfront resort with unlimited drinks, live shows, and 6 pools.
Yeah, your idea's better.
With up to 40% off Transat-style packages, you too will realize winter can wait. Visit transat.com or contact your travel professional for details. Conditions apply. Air Transat. Travel moves us.
In Canada, the leading cause of death is cancer. What if you could see it coming before symptoms appear? Whole body MRI offers advanced medical scans using state-of-the-art AI-powered MRI technology, which can detect early-stage cancers and over 500 other conditions with zero radiation. Take control of your health. Visit wholebodymri.ca to book now. Again, that's wholebodymri.ca. Get scanned.
Ever wonder where your money goes each month? You're not alone. Managing your money can feel complicated, but there's good news. ABC Money Matters offers free financial literacy resources for everyone who wants to grow their financial confidence. Learn about habits like spending plans, smart shopping, banking basics, borrowing money, and ways to save. Making sense of your money is easier than you think. Start today for free. Better money management begins at abcmoneymatters.ca.
The housing crisis in the GTA has reached a critical point, with more than 2 in 3 residents being affected.
Almost 9 million Canadians are living in food insecure households.
Over 1 million people in the GTA now live below the poverty line.
Turns out today, mental health support is the #1 reason people are calling 211 for assistance.
At United Way, we wake up to a different life every day. Help us end poverty and build a better GTA any way we can. Donate today at unitedwaygc.org. How did that one become the award-winning Douglas Warrior? We thought of you. All of you. Take Fiona. As a visual learner, she uses Douglas workspace.
Today I'll have a quick lesson on shopping carts.
Festival Peach. Malcolm is a listing learner. Only text with Double speech recognition to be
Great deal.
however you want. Double makes it easy. Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com. A is for asking. B is for beginning the conversation. C is for choosing which treatment is right for me. And Z is for Zepbound.
Ask a doctor about Zepbound Quick Tests. Save at zepbound.ca. Exclusions and exceptions may apply.
I'm the pump that can balance your way.
I'm such a win. I've been refused all this.
I'm the final shot that has balanced me out. Yeah, that's me. I'm random. And before you bet more than you can afford to lose, remember, I'm always in play. Learn more at gamblingisrandom.ca. Unwind with the LG Massage Recliner featuring 3D massage, soothing heat, and Bluetooth speakers in cozy beige or cozy brown. Tune in to Tech Talk with Mark Saltzman Sunday at 5 p.m.
well as soon as possible. I have always said, Sean, every day I make a decision where I am more useful for a cause. That's why I stayed in hiding for over 16 months, and that's why I decided to go out, because I believe that at this moment I'm more useful to our cause, being able to speak out from where I am right now. But I'm planning to go as soon as possible back home.
That's the leader of the Venezuelan opposition, Maria Corina Machado, who has been in hiding for more than a year. As you heard there in an interview with Fox News, she says she is headed back. Right now, Maduro's vice president has been installed as president, and that has led to a lot of questions as to how much of a transition, if any, is underway at all. I spoke to John Bolton, former Denmark. There's a statement that's come out from the NATO countries that have assembled for the coalition of the willing, and I will share what they are saying and what Prime Minister Carney is saying about that next after a short break.
Shoresy's back, and it's only on Crave.
We need total buy-in from every guy in this room.
The Smash Hit Series returns.
Let's make sure they never forget who we are.
Shoresy, new season, free now, only on Crave. Subscribe at crave.ca. Dream Agent, this Tuesday's Lotto Max jackpot is an estimated $50 million, plus an estimated 2 max millions. Let's get those callers dreaming to the max.
Lotto Max Dream Hotline. You want to buy a pool? Why not a private lake?
Kitchen upgrade? What about your own restaurant? In Spain. Hey, we got another dreamer.
Tuesday's Lotto Max jackpot.
Thanks so much for joining me this afternoon. Hope you're staying safe out there. Hard to tell in our downtown studios how bad it is out there, but as you heard in the traffic report, we are keeping an eye on all these things, and we'll let you know what's happening throughout now, right through until 6 o'clock, because I'm not only doing my show this afternoon, but filling in for Jim Richards as well. He will be back in the regular slot next Monday. There's a bit of a debate in the media about what's going to happen to new car prices in 2026. There are those who say that they'll go up, but not significantly. Others who say it will be a bit of a sticker shock. Number who say, no, just going to be flat. Obviously, part of this is the regular up and down when it comes to pricing of any particular product. But of course, you overlay that with the uncertainty around Donald Trump and his tariffs and where we are on the auto sector, and you have a great deal of uncertainty. So I thought what we might do, especially if you're in the market for a car this year, I'm lucky, I'm not. We got one just over a year ago. I thought I'd tap into some of the day-to-day experience of someone who knows a thing or two about buying and selling cars. Greg Carrasco joins me. He is the host of the Greg Carrasco Show on NewsTalk 1010. Welcome to the show.
I'm so happy to be here, Deb, and I hear the weather over there is terrible, but I'm enjoying a 37 Celsius here in sunny Santiago, Chile.
Oh, I might just hang up on you now, Greg. So what's your prediction? As I said, those who are involved in the auto sector really seem to have a difference of opinion. What are you seeing? What are you buying? What's your prediction for 2026?
You know, it's an interesting conversation simply because I had the president of the CADA on my show a couple of weeks ago, and he predicted that the TIV, that stands for the total industry volume for the year 2026, is going to be 1.9 million vehicles sold. You know, it's hard to disagree with the head of all the new car dealers in the country saying that. The ground floor depth tells me something else. Sales have really, really slowed down over the last quarter. In fact, the last 90 days have been probably the slowest 90 days that we've had in the car industry for the last, I would say, 2.5 years.
Oh, really?
It has been, and the interesting thing is this, that car manufacturers in Canada are still pretty arrogant, and I represent a couple of them, but and I know that they won't like me very much when I say this, but they continue to raise the prices despite the slowdown in sales. I think they're mostly just trying to keep up with inflation. Now, one of the things that I do need to point out to the consumer is that we haven't seen this level of incentive. I think the prices will continue to rise. However, the incentives will come in aggressively. I have been seeing incentives on vehicles these days that I haven't seen since prior to the pandemic.
So is that financing incentives? Is that extra packages? I mean, was it everything?
We are talking about, cashbacks. We're talking about 0% interest rate,
really?
0% interest rate after forever. Let me give you an example. Right now, people can get a Ford F-150 for 0% interest rate after 72 months, which is something that we haven't seen in a very, very, very long time.
Interesting. Is there a difference between when you look at availability and you look at price? Obviously, those two things are somewhat connected. Is there a difference in terms of whether you're looking at a lower-end vehicle, a nice utilitarian car, or a higher-end vehicle? Are you seeing any difference throughout the market?
I think that this is the word that nobody wants to say. In my opinion, I think that we've been in a recession for about maybe 8 to 12 months now, and nobody wants to talk about it. I think that the current government has done a terrible job mitigating the situation with Donald Trump, and that has made a push down. There is a lower pressure into vehicles that are cheaper. Lower price vehicles are starting to move a little bit faster than luxury vehicles. So for entry-level compact utility vehicles, mid-size SUVs, and the re-entry, the re-enamoring of the small compact sedan is making an appearance in the Canadian market. So for people that are looking for vehicles, this is what I tell all my family, people that I can actually have influence over. Cars are a waste of money, so if you don't have to, don't waste it. Buy the cheapest possible vehicle that will meet all your needs, and if you need something bigger, rent it for that moment. But I can tell you this, that people should be very, very prudent on their car purchases over the next year.
What's the used market looking like, Greg?
The used market is absurd, simply because we buy vehicles for a certain dollar amount. A week later, the prices skyrocket. Sometimes they drop 10, 15%. So it's very difficult to predict. I think that a lot of dealerships these days are keeping their inventories very low and nimble, just so that they don't get caught offside. Because a lot of dealers, after the pandemic, bought heavy into expensive vehicles. Next thing you know, the market shifted, and they ended up losing a ton of money in the exchange. So I think that used car prices will remain steady and high because the demand is growing larger, which is very ironic to me, Deb, because you may buy a used vehicle for a lower price, but the interest rate on used cars are significantly higher than new cars. So you end up paying less but more interest rate, and you can actually get a new vehicle for less money than a used car these days.
I'm chatting with Greg Carrasco. He's the host of Greg Carrasco Show on NewsTalk 1010 every Saturday from 10 to 1. He has been in the car business for many, many years, knows his stuff. Where are we with EVs once the incentives were gone and the support by government faded? Are you seeing much in the way of EV sales?
The hard truth is that in Canada, nobody cares. EV sales have plummeted after the rebates were removed, and dealerships are having a very, very tough time moving electric cars. I think that the answer is not there. I think that we looked in the wrong spot, and all this money in infrastructure that we spent is going to be wasted, as you can see, because people are not buying electric vehicles. I mean, after so many years, we still cannot hit the 10% market on EVs. I don't think it's going to work.
But what about hybrids? Because I actually considered a hybrid at one point.
I think that the answer is hybrid. I don't think the car manufacturers are paying enough attention to that market. I think that hybrid gives you the best of both worlds. And incidentally, I rented a vehicle. It was a Hyundai van here when I landed in Santiago. It is a diesel van, and I'm getting 1,000 kilometers out of a full tank. I think that diesel is not something that people should shy away from.
Oh, interesting stuff. Last question for you, Greg. A friend of mine just bought a car, and she went looking, and she thought, because her dad had done this for years, that, when you get to the end of the year and the new models coming on site, that there'd be a deal if in 2026, in the first week or so, she bought a 2025, but they were not out there. Is that sort of something of the past? Because that certainly was always my dad's view. You bought the last year model as you entered the new year.
It was a myth. I mean, I've been in the industry for now 34 years, and it's a myth. I think that marketing plays a huge factor when convincing people of certain buy-in trends. To buy the vehicle in the last day of the month, or to buy the vehicle at the end of the year, that you get special deals on it. But the truth is this, Deb, that when I buy a piece of inventory, just because it's the end of the year, that price that I pay for that inventory doesn't go down. It's still on my books for the same amount of money. So what may change are incentives depending on inventory levels that the manufacturer may have. But in as far as the deal is concerned, you can walk in at the beginning of the month or the end of the month and you're going to get the exact same price.
Greg Carrasco, you can hear him on Saturday from 10 to 1 right here on NewsTalk 1010 on the Greg Carrasco Show. Thanks for your time.
A pleasure, Deb.
If it's on your mind, let it loose.
Use the talkback button on your iHeartRadio app now.
And keep the conversation going on NewsTalk 1010 Toronto.
It's what we're here for.
The Heart and Stroke Lottery Super Bonus deadline is January 16th. Don't miss your chance to win $50,000 cash to make big dreams come true. Buy tickets at heartandstrokelottery.ca. Lottery license RAF 1479608. Must be 18 plus. Please play responsibly.
The biggest stars in tennis hit new heights with the first Grand Slam of the year.
You want athletics, you've got athletics.
The Australian Open. January 17th to February 1st on TSN and TSN Plus. Subscribe now.
This is NewsTalk 1010. CFRB AM, Toronto, a division of Bell Media and an iHeartRadio station. Stormwatch.
This is special Stormwatch coverage.
Victoria Matias from the CTV Newsroom on your Stormwatch. Freezing rain warning remains in effect, and that system continues to move through the GTA and other parts of southern Ontario. It is hitting us with a mix of freezing rain, ice pellets, very cold rain, and snow. It depends where you are. Temperatures are above zero. You're getting the rain, and you're getting the very cold rain below that ice pellets, and of course the snow. Now, areas to the east of the city right now getting hit hardest. We're talking about South Whitby, South Oshawa, also Barrie getting just pounded right now. We can expect all of this to continue on and off until later on this afternoon or early evening. It does look like there are some clear patches after that, but this will certainly affect your afternoon commute. Lieutenant Sergeant Kerry Schmidt with his usual reminder to be extra alert and vigilant before you find yourself in a bad situation.
Stay composed. Keep your mind on the task of driving, your eyes looking way down the horizon and always anticipating potential changes in traffic patterns and conditions and flow.
Still foggy, but not as thick as it was earlier, and we already have a power outage to report affecting about 1,000 customers in Clanton Park, that's just east of Downview. A pole issue there to blame. Toronto Hydro crews are working on it. Details on other stories coming up, but first, let's check your drive. NewsTalk 1010, time saver traffic.
On the Gardner westbound past Medina, a stalled vehicle blocking the center lane. It's slow from Jarvis. If you're on the 400 northbound, two problems. Just north of the 401, a stalled vehicle blocking the two center lanes around Shepherd. A stalled vehicle blocking the right lane. Heavy delays from the 401. And on the 407 eastbound past the 404, the three right lanes are blocked. It's slow from Leslie. Tonight's Auto Max jackpot is estimated $50 million, plus an estimated 2 max million. Buy tickets in-store or at LLG.ca. Play responsibly, 18 plus. Time saver traffic. I'm London Latani. Your next update at 3:15 on NewsTalk 1010 Toronto.
One additional traffic note for you, especially if you're in Etobicoke. The West Mall and Queensway closed because of a water main break. This is a significant one. The entire intersection is flooded with water. Again, that's the West Mall and Queensway. You're asked to steer clear of that area. No word yet on when this will be fixed and or cleaned up. To Barrie now, where a 47-year-old mother is accused of killing her 10-year-old child on New Year's Eve. She's now charged with murder. Police were called to a home on a well-being check on Bayview near Little around 3 that afternoon. They found the child dead inside. Mother was taken to a local hospital. She's since been released, remanded into custody, and today charged with first-degree murder. Respecting the family's privacy, the police are not telling us anything else about this case right now. An update here in the city on the search for a man accused of distributing inappropriate messaging to children in an East End Toronto park. 45-year-old man now under arrest. Police say the suspect attended Wicklow Park near Danforth and Logan on December 18th and distributed papers containing sexual content to kids. The parents called the cops. Now Andre Chios is charged with 9 counts of criminal harassment, plus many other charges, including breach of probation. And as far as
Hello everyone, my name is Kazuma Okamoto. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I am very happy to join Blue Jays.
New Day Kazuma Okamoto introducing himself to us this afternoon. Japanese slugger signed his 4-year, $60 million contract with Toronto over the weekend. He's projected to play third base with the Jays. 29-year-old has spent his entire career in Japan, named an All-Star 6 times, bangs it out of the park regularly, the league's home run leader 2020, 2021, and 23. And on the ice tonight, the Maple Leafs host the Panthers. Right now, Toronto only 2 points behind Florida in a very jammed Atlantic division. Capital breaking news anywhere. Download the iHeartRadio app at NewsTalk1010.com, CityNewsToronto.ca.
We have a mess when it comes to your forecast as we head throughout your Tuesday here in the city of Toronto and across the GTA. A Colorado low is moving in as we speak, set to bring a messy mix throughout the afternoon. We're looking at a rain-snow mix with a chance of freezing clouds and the chance of freezing rain here in the city of Toronto and throughout the GTA. We are under a freezing rain warning, meaning we could see up to 1 to 5 millimeters of ice accretion. It's possible, but we will keep an eye on this throughout the day. The saving grace perhaps is that we are going to be on the positive side temperature-wise at 2 degrees with a fairly moderate easterly wind. As we head past 7 p.m., that transitions over to more of a snow, so we'll keep an eye on all of that as we head throughout the day, but take caution as you travel on the roads and on the sidewalks throughout your Tuesday. From the CTV Weather Center, I'm Jessica Smith.
Right now, ice pellets or very cold rain falling pretty much everywhere in the GTA. It is 0. I'm Victoria Matias. Our next update is at 4 o'clock on NewsTalk 1010. For these stories and more, go to CTVNewsToronto.ca.
This is Stormwatch on NewsTalk 1010 Toronto. Brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealer. Legendary winters await. You're listening to Deb Hutton.
Thanks so much for spending some of your Tuesday afternoon with me. I read an article this morning about a woman in Kingston. It dates back to the spring, and she stopped at a light, and she notices a red light. She notices that there is a drone flying in sort of above and in front of her, but low enough that it caused her a little bit of concern. And she didn't know if this was something that might be criminal, or she wasn't sure what was happening. So she picked up her phone. Yes, she was in a vehicle, not moving at the time. Picked up her phone to take a picture of the drone because she was concerned. This drone was close enough to her and hovering above her. So she took a picture of it. Light changed. She continued down the road in Kingston, and just minutes later was pulled over. She was actually charged with the fine for a cell phone, $500. Now this issue, because it happened, as I said, back in the spring, the charges were laid, but it's come to light because the charges were dropped, and of course those on the civil liberty side of things are saying this is such great news and all of those things. But what it raised for me was how prevalent is the use of drones among our police forces? Because I guess I don't pay attention that much. I do know, and I did a little research after having read the article this morning, that a number of police forces throughout the province, throughout the country, have a number of drones. Last check, I think there were double digits of drones and operators with Toronto Police, for example. I checked with the Solicitor General's office and asked them if there are any standards around what we can use drones for. Because the notion that if you are out and about looking for a missing child or a missing vulnerable person and you would use a drone, I think makes sense. I think if you have, for example, maybe a major, hard-to-get-to incident that you're trying to scope out, maybe it's a major accident and it's hard to get to, maybe it's a fire, I don't know, that maybe a drone makes sense. But despite the fact that I was never super opposed to red light cameras or automated, she's sharp in terms of her mental acuity, she's mobile, she's surrounded by friends and family. It's actually her son who's talking about this issue.
And so after a few weeks missing her dog and knowing that having a pet is part of what keeps her active, she decided to go to the local shelter in New York and try to adopt a dog that would work with who she was. So a dog maybe that is older themselves or doesn't require a tremendous amount of walking, but certainly she wanted to be able to walk them and give them some exercise and give herself some exercise. So she went to a shelter. Again, an older dog. The animal shelter refused her. They said they will not adopt to people who are in, they didn't set a limit, but who are elderly, older. Again, this woman, according to her son, is very, very mobile and had walked her dog, all of her dogs, every single day until the most recent one passed away. Her son said he even, as did a couple of her friends who were younger, said they'd be prepared to go and adopt whatever dog she was looking at themselves to be allowed to adopt the dog, but she didn't feel right about it. I am curious how you feel about this. They reached out to an ethicist, and the ethicist said, like, this is wrong. And they made a great point, which is the likelihood of someone who adopts a pet in their 20s having a lifestyle change, particularly if it's a dog, having a lifestyle change that means they have to surrender their pet is far higher than someone who is elderly and may not outlive their pet because of their support system and because of the fact that when you're in your 20s, lots of things could change. You could get a new job and have to move to another jurisdiction and not feel you could take the pet. You may change your living circumstances, whether that's by moving in with someone who might be allergic, or whether that is actually buying your first home and having it be a condo that doesn't take pets, or a different apartment. How do you feel about this? Because those who argue in favor of this policy, including the shelter, say, but if you adopt an older dog, let's be clear, when you're in your late 80s, we're only talking about a few years of life. And then you're going to surrender the dog, and that dog will be even older and harder to adopt. 416-872-1010. What do you think about this? I think it's outrageous. I really do. Because I think any amount of time, I've never worked in a shelter system, I don't know. I've only ever adopted